Alex, I know it's still very raw, but you've had a day or so now to digest the season that has been. What are the initial feelings looking back?
Yeah, a day's not enough to digest just yet. It's a really tough way to end. Particularly, we had so many great plans, and there was still a lot of belief in the group that if we won, made finals, we could still give things a real shake. So to have it end so abruptly is really disappointing. Looking back, it feels like it's been a big season. There's been some highs, there's been some lows. I guess I'm sort of proud of the group that throughout it all we've stuck together, and I think the easiest thing to do is look at the back end of our season and just be so disappointed and devastated that it ended the way it did in the last month. But you have to sort of look a bit deeper, and there was definitely some great moments and some great growth from individuals and from the group as a whole. So although there's the immediate disappointment, I think there's plenty there that we saw that gives me great excitement for what the future holds.
You sort of touched on it there being a lot of moments this year, but looking back, there was the Cams tribute game, which obviously meant a lot to you and a lot of the other players. There was the great win up in Sydney, and then obviously how the season unfolded at the end there. How big is that sort of connection piece within the group that you've all been on this roller coaster of highs and lows together?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like even to start the year off with our trip to Adelaide for Gather Round and having 2 heartbreaking losses there, like that was a big moment in our season, and the way we were able to bounce back from that and get back on track and not let that dishearten us was really promising. And throughout it all, there was some tragedy, there was some great highs and some great wins. But I think the most pleasing thing is that throughout it all we stuck together, and I think we do have a really close-knit group that really looks out for each other, and we're certainly sort of in it together. And the last month we've continued to stick together even through the disappointment, and even now with as I've touched on, the disappointment that we all feel, we'll continue to stick together and make sure that we get better and improve next year.
I remember earlier in the year you talking about your leadership style and how it had developed a bit. Another season in now as captain, you've talked about how big the leadership group as well has been for you. Sitting back at the end of the season and not being able to be out there on the field, but obviously having a big part to play, looking at some of those young leaders like the Calebs, the Andys of the world, having to see them really step up, and then obviously for you personally, what was it like being on the sideline in such a tough end?
Really, I guess it adds another layer to how tough it was to watch and not impact that last month on the field, and to sit there like all of our fans do at home and be helpless. It's a tough way to be, and I certainly don't envy the fans having to watch every week and go through that roller coaster. But I think again the silver lining from that is the ability of Caleb and Andy to step up and to seamlessly take over on game day. I think they both did an amazing job, their individual form, but the way they were able to lead the group. I think looking back, there's a lot of guys that took huge steps forward in their leadership. I thought Youngie was fantastic all year, and he's a new young leader for us. Switter and Jager, as other members of the leadership group, really stood up throughout the year. But a lot of young guys that really took it upon themselves to grow in that aspect of their game. I think JT was huge for us, and he sort of stamped his authority on the competition with the way he played. But that really started from when he got back at pre-season with the level of intensity that he brought, and his desire to get better and improve and bring guys along with him. I think Clarkey is a guy who's similar with the way he sort of leads and has influence around the group. I think Wags, the way that he was able to come in the back half of the year and really come in and play with that energy for us. There's just so many guys who have stepped up. I think Jai really stepped up in the way he led this year. A lot of what he does goes unnoticed, but I guess it's pleasing to know that we've got so many young players who are so dedicated to our group and dedicated to not only get better themselves but lift those around them.
And I know it's still that bittersweet with how the season ended, but from going from 10 wins, 13 losses in 2023 and not being in contention at all at the end of the season, to this year ending with 12 wins, 10 losses, a draw, and being in it right up to the very end, there must be a feeling that the group is obviously trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so disappointing, because I feel like we can challenge anyone that's in the top 8 at the moment. But yeah, we spoke about it over this last few weeks, that this is a position you want to be in when the pressure's on and you're playing in big games that mean a lot. So it's the position you want to be in because they're big and they mean a lot, but it also makes it hard when you lose and don't get it done. So I know that the feeling that we all have now, getting close and not and ultimately failing, it's sort of, I know it'll really spur the guys on and it'll really light the fire that we really want to take that next step and be in September and really competing.